Joy Behar.
When you have 2.2 million people stuck in an area, half of which are children, and you're
don't you think Hamas attacking Israel is the reason that they have the problem now?
Oh, see, that's smart. She's so smart.
At me like he wants to go put him to bed. So here we are.
Pretty rare that I really agree with Anna Navarro and Joy Behar. And on this one, man, they hammer Sunny Hostin because she is an anti-Semite.
There's been many issues in that region before, and always the response from around the world has been to Israel, have restraint. Yesterday, nobody was telling Israel to have restraint because you cannot call on Israel to have restraint when 1,200 at least of their citizens have been slaughtered in the savage, inhumane, cruel.
You're going to see here the difference between a normal Democrat and a crazy Marxist, socialist, globalist like Sunny Hostin. I think she is the new worst on The View. Welcome to An Exile. I'm Doug. This is where the happy people are. Let's go to where The View is. Not so happy people.
The only people that are to blame for this is Hamas. Yeah. Hamas is going to be the ones culpable for what's going to happen in Gaza.
This is another great quote from Anna Navarro. I'm shocked. She said, even the collateral damage, by the way, is going to be Hamas's fault. That's the big argument on this whole show. You'll see Sunny Hostin carry Hamas's water, a terrorist group, and then you'll see the other hosts completely correct her and frankly expose her for what she is.
And I want to say I heard a lot of the things that you heard, that everybody heard, but what we and I understand the anger that there is there, but
because she seems to really be troubled with the anger that Israel has.
We need to also recognize that the Palestinians that are there now, that are descendants of refugees, have not had a democratic election since 2007. Yeah.
Translation, they're victims. That's Sunny Hostin and all of the hardcore leftists' excuse for everything. Anything you do that's evil. If you beat someone up in a subway, it's because you're a victim. If you do smash and grab, it's because you're a victim. If you get low grades in college, worse than everybody else, it's because you're a victim. And so she's saying, like, the Palestinians, it's a giant country, a whole people that are victims.
Okay,
that's because of Hamas.
They did not vote in
because of Hamas.
Currently vote in Hamas. And so.
And then Joy comes in, wisdom, because of Hamas. It's not Israel's fault. And if Palestinians are a victim, they're a victim of Hamas.
When you look at international human rights law, I'm just putting my legal hat on. This is not the sunny hat. I understand the anger, but when you...
Legal hat.
Yeah. AKA idiot, the dunce cap.
I can't believe her. She's out of her mind.
You know, I'm
shocked. I'm shocked they checked her. I'm shocked they checked her as hard as they did.
I've got to give credit where credit's due. Anna Navarro actually had an intelligent take for once.
That is amazing. For as much as she hates Trump, everything is Trump's fault.
A broken watch is right twice a day.
Twice a day, at least.
Decide to retaliate. I understand the anger, but when you decide to retaliate collectively against a people, that is also in violation of human rights law.
Sunny Hostin calls out international human rights law. That is not my constitution that I am sworn to, nor are.
What are they supposed to do?
I mean, it's not retaliating against an entire people. They're just going after Hamas. They've been warning the people, okay, if you're in this section, you need to move to this section. We're even providing you a map to go to this section and get out of the way, please. But what people in the Western, here's a little inside info. What people in Western world don't understand is terrorists, they don't care about human life.
Nope.
All they care about is getting their propaganda, their message, and putting on a show.
That's right.
To
power, money,
recruit people to their way of thinking and their belief system. So if that means that innocent people have to die to promote their agenda, that's what they're going to do. They will use people, especially children, as human shields.
Yep, as I was gonna say, I heard them even using people at gunpoint, saying that you cannot leave. You have to stay in this building. You have to stay in a hospital while the bombings are coming down. They do that.
Exactly. So, and they will use that as a tactic to say, look, we're not the bad guys. They are, for bombing this place with all these people inside. So this is what they do. They frame it to make themselves look like the martyrs, the good guys. But in reality, they're the ones that are staging this stuff. And, you know, when Sunny turned it around and said, but everything she said before that is completely negated. And, you know, everything she says after that is complete bull.
Yep. Exactly.
I'm sorry. That's just, anytime you talk to someone, if they say, but, they're completely disregarding everything they said before it. And everything that comes after it is complete bull. Simple as that.
That's why we have you here, Darth Vader.
I've spent enough time over there. I know how these people's minds work. I know how they operate, and I kind of have a bit. I may be a bit biased and whatnot, but I know how this all goes down and their mindset.
Oh yeah.
So
here in the West, we think every other nation runs like us.
Yeah, they don't. They don't.
And it's another fact that I found out, that when the people are fleeing, the refugees, no Islamic country are accepting them.
No, they won't. They refuse.
That's interesting. That's a very interesting piece. They're shutting down their borders, saying, "Don't come over here." Wait a minute. We don't want the same.
We don't want your. No,
we're the same religion.
Muhammad, don't bring your crap over here. Don't bring your crap to our doorstep.
They say send them to the United States. Send them somewhere else.
They'll send them to the Ukraine or wherever else, but don't bring them here. And that's why the Hamas is able to get away with stuff like this, is because, number one, these people have nowhere else to go, and number two, they're doing all this stuff in the name of promoting their agenda.
So I'm reading a comment here. Are you reading this comment? Trump cheated the bank 250 million, and the banks are suing Trump bankrupt. Don't trust Trump. Support the other Republicans.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Is that the recent thing that's going on in New York right now? Is that one the person referring to?
Maybe.
I haven't heard about that. I have to look into it, because I did hear something about.
I'd have to look into.
I heard something about Mar-a-Lago, and stuff like that, but that's turning out to be all false. Yeah, they were saying he overvalued the home and everything to get greater loans and everything, which every real estate person do that. Anyway,
like, who doesn't do that?
So, I don't know. I haven't heard about that, but. Listen, whenever I hear something about Trump, I'm very skeptical now. Very, very skeptical. There's hardly anything the media could tell me about Trump that I run with anymore. I have to dig into it. And 9 times out of 10, I'm discovering it's all a lie. So,
and like he said, this is Stormy Daniels, I think, is trying to push the globalist agenda here, where she wants everybody to just be like, okay, we're not gonna, worry about what's going on over there. Just let things be and side with the bad guys. Let's ignore the fact that they're the ones that poked the bear. Everything was fine until they started it. Let's not forget, they're the ones who went into Israel, killed thousands of Israelis, especially women and children, in their beds and beheaded them.
Yeah, did you see that video I put of the late Joan Rivers? I put out. It's only one.
I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes long.
But I did comment.
It says everything you just said right here.
Citizens of Israel, we are at war.
So I'm trying to get celebrity reactions to what's going on with the Palestinians and Israelis right now.
Let me just tell you, if New Jersey were firing rockets into New York, we would wipe them out. I am so bored. We heard they were digging tunnels from New Jersey to New York. We would get rid of Jersey. So I don't want to hear anymore. Oh, we'll do a partial truce. The Palestinians, you cannot throw rockets and expect people not to defend themselves.
What about the civilian casualty rate?
Civilian, then don't put your goddamn things in private homes. I'm sorry. Don't you dare put weapon stashes in private homes, and then we say get out. Of course, we're going to do it.
The response normally is where are the civilians supposed to go?
I don't care. They started it. You're all insane. They started it. What are you all saying? They started. The Israelis did not throw their... For months this has been going on.
How do you resolve?
What are you supposed to do?
How do you resolve?
How do I know? Because I have been over there. That's how I know. And I wish the world would know. And the BBC should be ashamed of themselves. And CNN should be ashamed of themselves. And everybody, stop it already.
You know, like Dwight Howard tweeted, "Free Palestine, take it back." Selena Gomez tweeted a pro-Gaza.
Oh, Selena Gomez. Oh, yeah, that college grad.
All right, John, thank you. John, thank you so much.
Well, Selena said that.
Did Rihanna have to take it back?
Tell her, let's see if she can spell Palestinian.
I'll ask her right now. Thanks,
That's called common sense. We
at least
some of that
she
today.
gets it. At least she gets it. You know what I'm
She got
saying?
it, man. She kept it simple for us. They started it.
Yeah.
If you guys never started it, we'll not be in this mess.
Don't start something, won't be nothing.
Exactly. You don't start something, there won't be nothing. Again, hey, they started the war, and Israel's finishing the war. It's sad. All the casualties are their fault. So
yeah,
they should be renounced and condemned. Simple as that.
And honestly, I mean, I you know, it may not be a popular opinion, but I think honestly, the Gaza Strip Israel should just go in and take over the Gaza Strip. Period. Point blank.
Yeah. Because every time they have a chance to vote, they end up having another one of those terrorist groups take over again. So we go through the same crazy cycle.
Yeah.
So they're gonna call it an occupation and so on. But it's like when Israel occupied the Gaza Strip before 2005 and so on. I think they left in 2005. Things were much better.
Mm-hmm.
People had freedom. The women were not killed for little things. I mean, some of these people will persecute their own people. They were actually hurting their own people.
Mm-hmm.
They had pictures of a woman stripped naked and everything, hair everywhere, and they were dragging her in the middle of the streets. They were doing it in the name of their religion.
That's what they do.
Yeah, and it's crazy now. They want to talk about all these small accomplishments. Like, what morality we're talking about here?
You know, if the people in Gaza don't want to live under Jewish rule, then they can move over to the West Bank. Give them a path to the West Bank, and let them go live with their people over there.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
and just let Israel have the West Bank or the Gaza Strip. Period. Done. Yeah. Deal. Over.
That's it. Whew. And people are getting mad, like when Israel kind of kept a lid on this thing. Well, the moment that we remove the lid, it blows up. As soon as they were given the opportunity to have an election in 2007, boom, we were in trouble. And it's crazy. This is why we're in this mess.
Thank you, Matt Carter.
It's the Middle East, man. This is not the West. Here in the West, we run things differently, but over there in these countries, man,
it's like the Wild West.
It's a whole different worldview, man.
Yeah,
so
it really is.
We cannot judge these countries by the standard of the West. We cannot. It's a big mistake.
And that's a mistake that people are making, is they're judging it by our standard of living. It's a totally different standard of living.
It surely is, man. It surely is. Like, I've learned this a long time ago. It doesn't work.
you see all these people protesting, queers for Palestine. That's like saying cows for bacon or cows for hamburger or something, or chickens for KFC.
Chicken for KFC, like JP said.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way as a queer person, Palestine, you excuse me, you don't have that freedom.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Sorry, but not sorry.
And there was a meme I saw where AOC apparently has, or not AOC, one of the squad members has a Palestinian flag outside of her office.
Tashida
Relief.
Yeah.
And the meme was Palestinian flag throws LGBTQ flag off the roof of the Capitol building, and it shows the LGBTQ flag off the top of the building.
That was on the JP video that we did. It
was on my education meme review. It was
that was great.
Hilarious.
That was great. I think I did. Yeah. That was hilarious.
So,
man,
better late than never, Dave. Glad you could make it.
Yeah. Glad you're here.
Of human rights law.
Sonny Hostin calls out international human rights law. That is not my constitution that I am sworn to, nor are our legals sworn to it. We're not citizens of the globe. We're not citizens of the world. We're not citizens of humans, humanists. We are Americans. So you can take your international globalist standard and put it in.
So we have to look for it. So we have
the
to
Israelis are warning all of the civilians.
We have to look at some restraint.
But the Israelis warn the civilians.
Here comes 3-on-1. They're all talking at once, but notice all three of them are talking against Sonny Hostin.
We're coming in. Get out of the area.
Hamas
did nothing of the kind.
They must continue.
They did nothing of the kind.
I agree, and they must continue to do that.
Yes.
We have
the problem is that Hamas.
And it doesn't get into Sonny's hard head. So watch Joy Behar's gesture here.
Runs Gaza. They are occupied by Hamas.
She goes to commercial, but then the last one is a swipe at Sonny, like, and this girl.
Runs Gaza. They are occupied by Hamas.
Now they're treating Sonny like a third grader. This is basic morality from Joy Behar.
You cannot negotiate with people who want to kill you.
Yeah, correct.
So that's what's going on now. Go ahead, Sonny. You want to say something?
Calling her out. You're awful quiet over there. You were going to add something to that. What was that?
No, I look at this from a legal perspective, and I think that we all know that Hamas has been designated a terror organization, just like many other terror organizations have had this designation, like the Proud Boys here in the United States.
That is a moral equivalence that should disgust any American. That she sees.
She compared them to the Proud Boys in the United States. This woman is out of her mind, man.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said
she has
I'm a Christian. Somebody said shut the front door.
She has no idea what the Proud
What
Boys
is she talking about? Is she for real?
Unfortunately, I'm sad to say, she is. She actually believes what she's saying. Like, it's like, do you even know what the Proud Boys stand for?
Not even close.
Do you realize the leader of the Proud Boys is a Mexican?
They don't. I know. They haven't done anything remotely close to what some of these guys have done. You see this video? You see this video right there? I wish to understand to proceed, but pause. I'm not gonna play this, but I'll tell people if you think Hamas is innocent, I'm gonna give you a link, and I hope you have hearts. And Darth Vader, you can check it out too if you haven't seen it.
Bro.
You go look at that. You go look at that and let me know. I watched this with tears in my eyes, bro. I watched it with tears in my eyes. I'm gonna send it to you in private chat as well.
Right on.
Yeah. You go watch that. Watch it from start to finish. Watch it from start to finish. This is Israel's defense forces. They recorded videos. They took videos from the soldiers themselves, Hamas soldiers, some of the ones that they killed, and gathered all the footage and put it out there. You will see what they did. Yeah, you will see what they did. But we're on YouTube, so let's leave this matter alone for now.
Yeah.
Extremely graphic. They warned you. Extremely graphic. It's been a day. He's got 5 million views. It came out yesterday. It came out last night. I was actually in bed last night, and then it showed up on my screen. I was like, oh, wow. And I looked at it, and I was like, oh, my Lord.
There's, go to your channel for a second. There's a video that you posted, I don't know if it was yesterday or a couple days ago, about the hospital bombing.
Yes. I had to correct that.
I left a comment on that.
Okay.
I want you to read the comment.
Yeah,
I believe that. Yeah, I believe that's the one.
Yeah, that's been.
You don't have to do that, but scroll
Yeah.
down. I want you to look at my comment.
There you go. Okay, let's take this through logically. Which one of them have been warning civilians to move away from Operation Center of the other before striking? Versus which side has little to no concern for human life, especially children and babies, by their own actions? I think this was done deliberately by Hamas to blame Israel, rally in support in Gaza. Spot on. Did you know that I had to do a video to correct it?
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, I did. I did a video to correct that. So you are 100% correct. Here is the video right there.
Right.
Hamas did it. So I corrected the view.
See, I called it. I didn't even watch that video, and I called it.
Oh, you're on point. Well, yeah.
Because I know how these people operate.
Oh yeah, it was all propaganda. It was all the deception. I was just really hurting by the 500 people who passed away, which was not. It was a parking lot that got hit. It wasn't no 500 people. Some people did pass, but it wasn't that many. Praise God for that. That's what I said. We have good news. You know,
still,
this is good news.
It's
still
shame,
bad.
But
it's a shame.
You know, it's.
But it's not exactly.
It's all by their own doing.
Yeah.
Because this is what they do. They have no concern for human life whatsoever. They just use it as a tool and a propaganda machine to fuel their own agenda.
Yeah, to get whatever.
And this is what people need to understand about terrorist organizations like Hamas, the Taliban, ISIS, anything like that.
They don't care about human lives, man. What
Point
they care
blank,
about is their own agenda. It's sad. So sad.
Okay.
Yeah, you called it, and you called it indeed.
Any American that she sees Hamas as interchangeable with the Proud Boys, basically a fraternity. Just look at the body count, you moron.
But I do think that what we need to remember is that there is an international human rights body of law.
No, you don't need to remember it. You guys just forget. You can forget about the international body of law. Who cares?
And when you look at that law, part of it is retaliation against innocent civilians collectively is also terror. And it's also a war crime.
Man, she is working so hard for Hamas right now. I wonder if she's on the payroll. I wonder if Iran is paying her.
And again,
she is so out of her mind.
Yeah, that's the thing she doesn't seem to understand. Number one, Hamas doesn't give a crap about your international law.
Oh my Lord, this lady is crazy.
And number two, Israel isn't attacking civilians. They're trying to go after Hamas and their stashes and all their logistics and everything like that. It's Hamas who's using them as human shields. They're using them as meat shields. That's all it is, as propaganda.
Wow.
So shut your cake hole, look pretty, and just sit there and be quiet.
She has no idea.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
She has no idea. You know the story in the Bible? I'm not going to go too far into this. You know the story of Agag, when Samuel had to put him to death?
Yep.
Right. And King Saul was assigned to actually kill not only everyone. Yep. The Amalekites were supposed to be killed, but King Saul decided that he's going to save a few people, including the king. Here is the thing most people don't know. I'm trying to make an application here. The reason Samuel, first of all, Saul rejected as king. Samuel himself took King Agag and put him to death. Let me get to the text right there. Young Samuel, your sword. There it is. You see this? This is the statement. Your sword has made women childless, so that your mother be childless among women. Samuel had Hagag in pieces before the Lord in Gilgal. What's the context? Listen, when Israel were coming out of Egypt, there were the king of Hagag and some of the people, some of the soldiers that were there, the Amalekites. They were children and elderlies who were actually in the back of the line. They went after the innocent people. God had it coming for them. So I will ask the question then to Sunny Host. Are you going to call God a terrorist now? This is called divine judgment in the Bible. Oftentimes when you read the Bible, right, and you find like some entire race has been eradicated, right? And God sent forth his army and say, kill everything, even the children. Before you condemn, there's a lot of context. There's stuff that's happened in history. There's been appeal. There's also been prophets sent in these areas, calling them to repentance for some of the stuff that they've done. And then God sent forth judgment. When God sent judgment, let me tell you something. When God gets it done, it is well done. You may not like the way it looks. You may not like the way it looks, the way it smells. But I'm telling you, sometime when God is cleaning up, man, it's messy. When during the flood, you think it was funny to live in the days of Noah and watch? That was judgment. And some stuff going on right now in Gaza. You may not like what I'm about to tell you. It looks like judgment to me.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say. You can disagree with me and let's have a fight if you want. I'm just saying.
But, hey, look at Sodom and Gomorrah. Look at what he did there.
Yeah, yeah. And people think God has changed. I'm like, no, he hasn't changed. The same God of the Old Testament is the same Jesus that died on the cross, just to remind you. Sometimes people will feel the huge difference. Old Testament God is angry. New Testament God is nice and kind. No, bro, you got it twisted. It's not the same loving God of the old. The same God you think is angry in the old is the same one in the new. He hasn't changed. The only thing that has changed is that God is appealing to the Gentiles, so he took a different posture. But as far as his nature is concerned, he doesn't play.
He's still a parent. Like, just like any parent,
he still lays down
punish you. Yep.
He will deal with the wicked. The Bible tells you that. He will not forsake the wicked. And there's some of the stuff that these guys have done. When you watch that video, if you don't understand what I'm trying to say in the context of the Bible, pause and go watch that video I just told you. That video will put everything in context for you, because that video of Hamas, this will turn your world upside down. It will change your perspective. If you think Hamas is innocent, they're just freedom fighters, they're just a military group, a resistant group who's trying to do the right thing for his people, go watch this. I dare you to watch this. And then come back and tell me the same thing you're thinking now. Anyway, let's get back to the video.
So hard for Hamas right now. I wonder if she's on the payroll. I wonder if Iran is paying her.
And again, those are not my words. Those are the words of the law.
International law, not the law, not our law, not American law, and not even God's law.
Ursula von der Leyen said just last year, when we were all talking about Ukraine, she said Russia's attacks against civilian infrastructure, especially electricity, are war crimes. Cutting off men, women, children of water, electricity, and heating with winter coming. These are acts of pure terror, and we have to call it as such.
Okay, this is what all the leftists are bringing out now. They've always said this: Israel shuts off water rights. Why does Israel shut off water rights? It's why. They use it to negotiate to make sure that they are safe. That's the only reason. And Sonny here pretends like they do it out of the blue, like out of hatred, as if Israel doesn't want them to have water. Why do you think they're shutting off Hamas's water, Sonny? Tell the rest of the story. And whose fault is it? Joy Behar.
When you have 2.2 million people stuck in an area, half of which are children, and you're
don't you think Hamas attacking Israel is the reason that they have a problem now?
Oh, see, that's smart. She's so smart. Joey, which I never thought I'd say. Behar, you got it. Why did Israel shut off the power? Joy gets it right.
What Israel is saying consistently is, if you want your water, if you want your electricity, release our hostages. In my view, that's not an irrational question. That's not an irrational demand. Release our people that you are holding there as a human shield.
The only person that doesn't understand it is Sonny Hostin. I see a real moral distinction between the rest of the view, who are mere Democrats who merely hate Trump, and Sonny Hostin, who is a bury the needle leftist communist, really on a different level, elite snobbery, globalist.
And they should, but in the process, they should really refrain from committing war crimes or terror because they're going to lose the goodwill.
I do think it's very.
Sonny Hostin never had goodwill for Israel. So no matter what they do, you're going to lose the goodwill of communists like Hostin.
Hamas is worse than ISIS. There's no equivocating as far as the terror
Look
and
what
the
they did.
brutality.
Look what
Beheading
they did.
children.
Yeah.
This is a group that you cannot reason with. There is not a diplomatic solution with Hamas specifically.
They're lecturing Sonny. There is not a diplomatic solution. This is not about water rights and electricity, Sonny. You're dealing with pure evil.
No, but their law doesn't apply to Hamas. They are a terrorist organization. They don't care about Palestinians. They care about annihilating.
They started this.
we
That's
also
the
have
part
to
you have to
understand
remember.
This is the kind of arguments that all of us as Americans have. These are the kind of debates that we have. Moral clarity. I like going over these, even these women who are all friends. Okay, they're having an argument, and that's okay. It's not that Sonny will change, but they got to speak their piece, and she got to have her piece, and we get to have our piece and say Sonny Hostin is easily the most immoral, lost ship without a sail or a rudder on The View, and that's saying something. Like, subscribe, share. I'm Doug in exile.
I like the way he present that.
Yeah,
He's good.
Yeah, he did a really good job with that.
Guys, he's been real. I mean, Sonny Hostin is out of her mind, man. That victim stuff, that victimhood stuff, that stuff is driving people crazy.
Yeah, I'm so sick and tired of this victimhood mentality, man. I'm so over it.
I'm done. He gets nothing done. It really fixes nothing. He actually makes matters worse.
Mm-hmm.
Just crazy.
And it doesn't account for people having personal responsibility. No personal responsibility whatsoever. You know, it excuses them from all personal responsibility for their actions.
Yeah, and that's why the left is like trying to protect the image of Hamas. They think they are just helping a victim, but they're not victims. But it's true. I've said yesterday in a live stream, real victims don't do this, though.
No,
real victims don't go out on a killing spree.
No,
because there are people who's really experienced hardship in life. They don't grab weapons and go actually and unalive innocent people.
Yeah.
Like that's not how real victim reacts.
You know who do that?
Mm-hmm.
They're called perpetrators.
Exactly. We call them terrorists
or murderers.
Exactly.